Saturday, pretty much high noon, going on about trying to get the yard finished up. We got all the lines plotted out, the distances between them, most importantly where we want the corner posts, and that's what I'm doing today. We decided to go with 4x4 posts. It is so dry out here that standard lumber can last at least 10-15 years. My neighbors have stuff that's been in there 20. So in my situation, I'm not going with pressure treated lumber. In most cases, you probably want to go with pressure treated lumber because they will rot out if your ground has moisture content above a certain percentage. Way higher than mine. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have a quick hitch, and one of the things I got to do is change off that big rake and put on this drill over here. I'm still trying not to do any of this stuff that requires me breaking my back alone, especially since I got people that are willing to help me out. I suggest if you're in that position, take advantage of it. There's nothing wrong with taking some help. So they should be here hopefully in a little bit, and we're going to put this giant drill on, and then everywhere there is a corner beacon in the point of a piece of metal tubing stabbed in the ground. We're going to use that as the points drilled the drill hole for the 4x4 post. It's going to be 1 foot wide, 4 foot deep. It's an 8-foot post, so it's going to be sticking 4 foot-ish up off the ground, barring any giant rocks or natural formations under the surface, which will allow it to stop exactly at the height of the 4-foot fence. We might have to do some fancy stuff later on with adding like an angle or something to take all the tension of the whole line, but that's what we're doing today. Time to take another step towards making this a front yard. One of the problems I still got is my implements are always in the way. I have nowhere to put the implements that's nice and clear. I always keep putting them back here. As you can see, that's on the other side of the fence. It's not really in the way, but this is my rake brick. It's where I store the landscaping rake. I gotta find somewhere else to put it. Somewhere out of the way. I just gotta move the implements away from where I'm doing stuff. I bet real farmers have like an implement shed or something where they just roll their tractor over with easy access to put their stuff. I don't want to put it by there. I'll probably just put it here. That's probably good enough. Landscape rake's off. Got impatient waiting for the help to come show up, so I just decided to do it myself. Now I'm tired. Got the other implement lined up and pretty much ready to go. I just need to disconnect this join here on the tape and the layout string so I can retrieve the implement and get it installed. This one is pretty heavy though. I think I might go make myself a sandwich first before I do this one. It's a little hot to be changing the implements in high sun today. Unfortunately, the 70-degree weather is gone. Hardest part of this so far has been slinging all these 4x4s. I got all 7 of them laid out. 2 go to the house, the rest are 5 points here. It's basically a giant rectangle that we just pulled one side of it and added one more point in this form of a diamond or whatever you want to call it. Alright, now on to the next step. Doesn't look like I'm getting any help today, so it's going to be a one-man show. It's going to take a little longer than normal. 3 times the amount of energy, but whatever. Saturday afternoon, Bianca got stuck at the bottom of the hill with an overheating problem this time. Not the transmission, thank God, I guess, that I just fixed. But more problems keep popping up. That's old vehicles for you. When it rains, it pours kind of thing. So what I am now looking for is a short down here, because all the other issues with the transmission that wasn't fixed by the fluid flush is caused by a short fuse, specifically F23 fuse. Keeps popping. Bianca bought a 5-pack and popped 3 of them on the way back, which to me just screams a short. So now I'm under here checking all the components that are on the 23 circuit for the vehicle. And it happens to be the oxygen sensors on the downflow side, which is on the underneath of the vehicle. And also the air conditioner, which is kind of what clued us into this problem. Woohoo! Okay, so now I'm just tracing the wires up from the exhaust, or sorry, the O2 sensor, which looks fine. I hate undercarriage work because it just means you get dirt in your eyes the whole time. Seriously. Hey, Bia.
After a lot of cleaning, this thing is finally coming out, but you can see it's really dirty inside.
On to bigger and better problems, as they say. We're out of coolant. Bianca overheated, right? Found out where and why. That doesn't look too good. That's right there. And also, down there. Intake manifold replacement. For now I had to add coolant because it was almost bone dry, just a little bit there. I really got to sit down and do way too much maintenance on this thing, but you know, that's one of the things we do to save money around here, because just going to replace the intake manifold on this thing's $2,000. I just can't pay people to do that. No. It is Sunday. I just figured out pretty much all the problems that we have to deal with today. It's going to take about 8 straight hours. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm just going to give you a little rundown of exactly what's been going on, because I just now have a complete picture of all the problems that I've been having with the truck and what we have to do to fix them. So I just flushed my transmission fluid out of the lower pan. And the reason we did that is because we got stranded by the mailboxes at the highway, because all of a sudden we lost all power in our transmission. The vehicle wouldn't shift, nothing would happen at all. You'd slam your foot on the gas accelerator and the truck would stay still. The only way we were able to go forward is by barely feathering the throttle and getting it to crawl. We thought our transmission was bad, or going there. That's why I did the transmission flush. Now, we were so excited after we did that it would fix the problem. Nothing happened. The problem still persisted. I happened to zero in on the fact that the AC was also down, which led me to find out that, through research by the way, all of the problems that I'm having with all the shifting systems and all the error codes I was getting for all the entire transmission system being down, all trace back to one fuse number 23. I pulled it and sure enough it was blown. I replaced that fuse, all power came back to the vehicle, all shifting problems disappeared, seemed like everything was perfect. We're super excited, sitting around dancing. Now, fast forward a day, Bia takes the newly fixed truck into town in order to retrieve groceries. blows the fuse again. And we happen to get multiple, so she replaces it, blows it again, replaces it, blows it again. She stops at Napa, gets a 5-pack. Throughout her day, she blows 3 of the 5 fuses. So what we have to do now is 2 things. One, we have to do an electrical trace and find out what wire on that system is bad. And we then have to fix it. And the blowing of the fuses should go away. And that side of the problem should be eliminated completely. Now, you're caught up to date from yesterday. On the way home from that fiasco, Bianca also said the truck had its temperature maxed out on the freeway, which is very hard to do, okay? And so there's some huge issue with the cooling system. And we look into it, and it turns out to be the intake manifold. It's totally cracked. There's like just coolant leaking out all over with this yellow crusty stuff. And we've been fighting that for over a year, alright? We still didn't figure it out last fall, and then winter came, we're like, we don't need overheating problems because it's snowing all over the place. And so we left it until today. We made a huge decision to pull all of our savings out. We zeroed out the $500 we had set aside. And we bought an intake manifold and an 8-pack of coilover packs. Now, the vehicle is pretty much zeroed out on coolant. And we were barely able to make it into town. And I got all supplies for a coolant change because we're out, right? And then we find a really good deal on the intake manifold. And then a really good deal on the coilover packs, which you got to pull anyways, because you got to take like the whole top of the engine off before you actually start tearing into the really big mechanical stuff. And that's where I'm at. It's going to be about 8 hours of a job or so for a normal-ish person that's mechanically inclined. I'm hoping I can cut a few hours off of it maybe, but I'm not counting on anything. I'm very nervous right now because I hate taking the only vehicle down for a day. If anything were to happen to Bia or my kid or anything around here, the tractor goes 7 miles an hour at maximum speed. So that's what we're doing today, and that's where we're at, and that's where we've been. Thanks for watching. It's going to be kind of a crazy day. I'm going to try to record everything I'm doing and stuff, but for now I'm just going to show you in the engine compartment what's going on and what we're fixing. Okay, so if we look in here, there's all that yellow crusty stuff right there. That's coolant leaking from the intake manifold. The intake manifold. And then on the other side, it's doing the exact same thing above the thermostat housing, which is down in there. You can see this leaky stuff about, I can get my finger down there. Down there. Okay, now I gotta pull everything off in order to get to this piece right here. It's huge. It takes up the entire engine area. I gotta take this giant thing off, pull all this rail system, get all this stuff pulled and out of the way. It's pretty much gonna look really weird when I have it all done. I am nervous about this, but the thing is that all mechanic stuff, until you like pop into the transmission and stuff, it's pretty simple. Maybe the valve cover, you take that off, it gets a little weird too, but it's mostly just what type of screw do I need? Is this a flathead or a hex, or what kind of socket do I need? So you can pretty much do all your own maintenance, as long as you're just willing to jump into it and not worry about your truck being down for longer than it needs to be. Okay, so anyways, let me show you this thing. This is all the supplies. I got it already set up because I'm getting good to go. I'm going to degrease the whole engine, protect my hands with some gloves because I hate getting really filthy with grease and stuff. I ain't a mechanic, I admit it right off. Some of these towels, it looks like super towels because they have this, I don't know, maybe they partner with Bounty and quilted their dang things. I have 4 gallons of coolant concentrate, which equals 8 gallons of coolant. I have 6.5 gallons on my vehicle, which I need to replace. I got some engine degreaser spray just in case there's anywhere I can't get with just like a hand spray, like bottle by mixing this stuff. And then I have the coilover pack, which there's 8 of them. I've had like 2 of them go bad and I haven't replaced the other 6. It's a really good idea to replace these as a set if you can. But it's really rare that you get in a situation where the entire upper engine's exposed because it's hard to get to like the other half of them. This is the main thing, which is costing all my money, and which is going bad and been causing me lots of headache. Yep, this is an intake manifold. This is where the majority of the heat, not the heat. The intake air flows on top of the engine. The problem, though, is that it's plastic. Ford, why would you have a plastic intake manifold, man? It's sitting on top of an iron block that has controlled explosions in it. Anywho, that's what I'm replacing. It's an all-in-one piece. That's my plan for today. I hope you have something way more exciting planned. I'll probably talk to y'all later this evening. You know, I'd say wish me luck. I don't feel that I need luck too much in stuff like this because it's pretty straightforward and mechanical. However, I do need patience. Wrenching for 8 hours on a giant job when you're not a mechanic is not fun. But it does save you cash.